Louis Van Gaal has been in charge of the Netherlands for 3 games so far, winning 2, drawing 1, including a 6-1 victory over Turkey. The Oranje have adapted to Van Gaal's philosophy quite well, one which is built on positional play, ball retention as well as high pressing. This video will be an analysis of the tactics used so far by the manager, focusing on how the team are set up whilst in possession. So if you do enjoy my type of content, make sure you are subscribed, make sure you like this video. You can leave a comment as well if you have any tactical recommendations. Once again, credit goes out to Total Football Analysis, but also if you do enjoy watching free football or just checking football stats and the latest news, then you're better off checking this app out. One Football and the RDF Tactics channel have chosen to collab once again. Downloading this app would help this channel out in many ways, but why exactly should you download it? The One Football app is an excellent app for football fans. It's the best place to check recent news, legally watch matches, yes, for free, and you can follow your team and be notified when something major happens. It's also great to check out the latest transfer rumours, and if you're like me, you don't want to miss out on any rumours. Transfer season can be fun. Once all the league starts up as well, it's a great app to check statistics. This channel creates recreations. Using the One Football app helps grab vital stats, but also you will have access to team lineups before the football match starts. This is a great app if you want to follow football around the world or get the latest news just on your team. So make sure you try it out, but it does also help this channel out a lot and gives it many great opportunities to grow. So give it a go and I promise you won't regret it. The Netherlands have played in a 4-3-3 in all of the games so far. The shape looking something like this, and it's very evident just from the 3 games so far as well that he does have a best 11 in mind, which includes Frankie de Jong as the number 6. The manager has also been rather consistent in his front 3, to play Memphis Depay down the middle in somewhat of a false 9 role. Depay has mostly been flanked by Cody Gakpo on the left and Steven Bergwijn on the right of the front 3, but Steven Bergwijn has also took place of Gakpo in the most recent match, the 6-1 victory over Turkey. It has become common knowledge that Van Gaal's philosophy is built around possession play and building up through the thirds using positional play, with plenty of players occupying areas between the lines. Across his 3 games in charge so far, the Netherlands have averaged 68% of ball possession. When the Netherlands play out from the back, the 2 centre backs in the 4-3-3 split and allow the goalkeeper to act as almost as the 3rd centre back. The fullbacks push up high and wide outside the box, while the number 6 drops into the space in front of the box to act as a progressive passing option throughout the opposition's first line of pressure. The Netherlands actively seek ways to play through the central areas when playing out from the back, but Van Gaal has been equally adept at playing to the fullbacks as a way of progressing the ball further up the pitch, and de Jong is often used as the wall pass to get there. When the Dutch team reaches the middle third of the pitch against the opposition's defensive block, otherwise known as the progression phase, the shape does not resemble a set formation, but the players are instructed to constantly gain a numerical and positional superiority versus the opponent. At times in the face of the attack, de Jong will drop into the back line to create a back 3, giving a license to the fullbacks to push forward on the flanks. A key component of the Netherlands' play in this phase under Van Gaal is that the Dutch coach wants plenty of bodies between the lines, with positional superiority. Positional superiority is essentially when a player has taken up a brilliant position between the lines and has both time and space to receive a forward pass. The players in the deeper areas of the pitch will, ideally, be able to get to their teammates that are positioned between the lines to receive the ball in areas as such. There are no specific player tasked with doing this apart from Memphis Depay, who always drops into the half space to receive and create wide overloads in the process. Van Gaal has been quite fluid in his approach regards to where players position themselves during the advanced areas, providing that there are still 2 players holding the width and there are 3 to 4 players between the lines. Often, the shape can resemble a 3-1-6, something similar to what's behind me. One way teams look to play against the Netherlands is to play it in a 4-4-2 in a sort of low to mid block, blocking out any central route for the Netherlands to play. So, how have the Netherlands looked to get around this? And the answer is very simple. And that's by overloading in the wider areas. By overloading the wider areas, the Netherlands are essentially ensuring that they have a numerical superiority against the opponent on the flanks and in the half spaces. This situation is a perfect example of how well this can work. The Netherlands have overloaded the right flank and Bergwijs has managed to find Wijnaldum making a run in behind the right half space. Wijnaldum latches onto the ball and crosses for Clausen to poke home the first goal. However, this is not always guaranteed to work and often the opposition will still prove difficult to break down. When this occurs, the players on the flanks will look to recycle possession to the centre backs, Van Dijk and De Vrij, or else De Jong as the number 6 to switch play to the far side. When a team shifts their defensive block across to protect the side being overloaded, it comes at a cost of leaving the ball far flank exposed. If the ball can be switched quickly enough to a teammate over the far side holding the width, it can cause trouble for the defending team. This is called overloading to isolate, and with players such as Van Dijk, De Vrij and De Jong possession wonderful passing ranges, it makes for a very useful way to try and score, particularly when it occurs in the final third. From the Netherlands games in charge under Van Gaal so far, there have been 130 positional attacks. 88 of these 130 positional attacks came from the wider areas, which is 67.7%. The Netherlands have scored 11 goals in just 3 games under Van Gaal and have had a total of 67 shots on goal in the meantime, which is a conversion rate of 16.4%. The vast majority of their shots are coming from inside the penalty area too, although the players are not discouraged from taking shots outside the box. Van Gaal instructs his players to put in a lot of crosses in the box and the Dutch team are extremely adept at doing so. The players on the flanks put early or deep in-swinging crosses into the box for players to attack, while the Netherlands pile bodies in the area for the cross. By piling bodies into the box, the Netherlands overload the last defender, which is generally the opposition's fullbacks, and early in-swinging crosses can cause quite a lot of problems for the defending team when this occurs. The Pies got a goal in the game against Turkey in this situation. But unfortunately, that wraps up this Netherlands tactical analysis under Van Gaal so far. But now we are going to go into Football Manager to have a look at how I attempted to replicate this tactic. So let's head over to Football Manager. So here we are in Football Manager, and as you can see on the screen, we have a 4-3-3. So I'm going to go through the team instructions, the player roles and instructions, and then at the end we can look at some of the stats and how well the Netherlands did during the Euros. So for the team instructions, for the mentality, we are using that positive mentality. The attacking width is set to the standard, which would be fairly wide, and for the approach play, we are going to play out from the defense, which is of course vital for a possession based side. For the passing directness, we have gone for shorter to try and retain the possession a little better, but we are going to be using a higher tempo. Though we are using the shorter passing, we are trying to get the ball into the final third. And in the final third, we will be sending in whipped crosses. For the transition, when the possession has been lost, we will counter press. The Netherlands so far have been quite a high pressing side, but when the possession has been won, we don't really have a direct instruction. And when the goalkeeper has possession of the ball, he will be looking to distribute the ball to the centre backs. For out of possession, we are going to be using the offside trap with a much higher line of engagement, a defensive line which is higher as well, the narrow defensive width, using the tighter marking, more urgent pressing, prevent the short goalkeeper distribution, but also get stuck in, which you can remove. Again, I only use get stuck in to get improvements on results in Football Manager, because that instruction just improves results in the game. Now for the player roles, in goal we are using a sweeper keeper who's also going to be passing it shorter. The left back is a wing back on the attacking duty, whilst the right back is a wing back on the automatic duty. Now Van Gaal, he likes to have one fullback attacking while one stays, but in Football Manager we can't really have that fluidity, so we are going to have the left back, the one getting further forward, whilst the right back, he will kind of position himself in the mid third, not getting further forward so often. In central defence, we do have 2 central defenders. In defensive midfield, we do have a defensive midfielder on a defensive duty, and in central midfield, we have gone for one box-to-box midfielder and one Mazzala. Both of them like to roam from their positions, so there will be a lot of movements inside the central midfield area. On the flanks, we do have an inverted winger on the supportive duty who's going to be looking to cross from deep when he is crossing, and on the right we do have an inside forward who too is on that supportive duty. Lastly, up top for that Memphis Depay role, we have gone for the false 9, someone that's going to drop deep and automatically his duty is supportive. So that there wraps up the tactic, the instructions and the player roles. We can now look into some results used with the Netherlands, but also I did test it slightly with Seville. I just wanted to see how it will do at club football just for around 3-4 games, which we can look at those results as well. So in the competitions in the FIFA World Cup qualifications, so far we are topping that group. The UEFA Nations League Division A, we too topped that group. We played 6, won 5, lost 1 with a points tally of 15. In the UEFA Nations League, we currently are in the semi-final, and in the European Championship we did lose in the final to Italy in extra time. But if we look at some of the stats, we did score the second most goals, or the joint most, with 16 goals. We did have the second most shots for the fewest shots against, we are in 6th place. That could be a little bit better. For the pass completion ratio, we are second with 91%, which isn't bad at all, and for the average possession, we are second with 60%. For the most tackles won, we are 6th with 98. For the most dribbles made, we are 3rd with 18. For the most clean sheets, we are joint 2nd with 3. And for the fewest conceded, well, we aren't in the top 8. For the individual stats, for the top goal scorer, we have Daniel Marlon on 4 goals. For the most assists, we have Justin Kluivert on 3. For the most shots, Justin Kluivert in 3rd place with 20. And for the most player of the match awards, we have Daniel Marlon on 2. For the most key passes, nobody in that top 8, but for the pass completion, we do have our goalkeeper on 97%. Most tackles won, nobody in the top 8. For the most dribbles made, we do have Justin Kluivert on 8. And for the most clean sheets, we do have our goalkeeper joint 1st with 3. But we can have a look at some of the results. As you can see, for Czech Republic, we beat them 3-0 in the group stage. And if you look at the shots, well, we kind of dominated the game. We were the better side. I actually wouldn't say dominant, but we did have the higher XG, and the ball possession, we had 63% of the ball. The Czech only had 37. We then drew 2-2 against Turkey before beating Romania 4-0 in the Euros. We did dominate this game with 22 shots, an XG of basically 3, and we had 58% of the ball. In the knockout stages, or the second round, we beat Poland 2-1. We then beat Denmark 2-1 before beating Belgium 2-0. If we look at that game in the semi-final, again, we were the better side. We had more shots, more on goal or more on target. We had a higher XG, and the ball possession, we had 62% of the ball against Belgium. Wijnaldum and Daniel Marlon were the goal scorers, but in the final, we did lose 2-1, which was incredibly harsh. We did have more shots and more on target, which doesn't always tell the full story, but we did have the better XG and more possession of the ball, again with 58% of the ball. But that there is the results with the Netherlands. We can load the Seville save to see how well that's done in the 4 or 5 games in which I did test. So for the Seville test, currently we are 8th in the La Liga, but not to worry too much. We did lose our opening game against Atletico Madrid, but no embarrassment. That was away from home as well. But we did beat Cadiz 4-1 in La Liga. We did beat Majorca 4-0 as well, before beating Deportivo Alaves 2-0 at home. But the most impressive result so far is beating Real Madrid 4-1 at home. Now, if we check this result here, you can see we had 19 shots in total, 11 on target, an XG of 1.97 and more possession of the ball again, but this time against Real Madrid, 55% of the ball, and they only managed to score a penalty. So again, if you take away that 0.77 XG away from their 1.38, they didn't create much at all. But before we end this video, we can actually watch the goals of this game just to get a rough idea of how the tactic does play out. Sit back, enjoy some of this Dutch football. Well, for Seville. So the first highlight is actually Real Madrid's highlight. That's unlucky there from Benzema, but that's probably one of the few chances they created. Oh, here's another from a corner, but we've headed it out and it looks like we are going to go on the counter attack. Go on, Lucas. This is probably where we score a goal. Nice counter attack, and there is Gomez putting the ball in the back of the net after a nice Seville counter attack. So it wasn't really positional play, it was from a counter attack, but regardless, it was still a goal. Here's another chance, starting from a throw-in on the left side. Real Madrid well defending it, but they just cleared the ball and gave it to Jesus Navas, who, as you can see there, wasn't too far ahead and he was able to recover the ball for Seville. That looks like a penalty, but it was a good tackle. And here is Bell on the ball. So we've pushed Real Madrid very, very deep in this game. As you can see, we've got the ball now, and Real Madrid are fairly camping on the edge of the box at this point, and that was a tame effort from Delaney. But the highlight's still going. They're just kicking the ball long, and we just keep recovering the ball and going on another attack. That's a nice block there. Marcus Acuna, that's a nice finish. 2-0 to Seville. That there was a really, really nice finish. So at the moment, we aren't really seeing that night. Oh, here we go. Here we go. At the moment, it's just Real Madrid losing possession of the ball, Seville recovering it, and us looking to keep possession. Look at us playing nice football, working the ball in that Real Madrid box. Delaney puts the ball into the box, and there's Lucas Ocampos with that goal. So that last goal, was a fairly deep cross into the far post where we had bodies and we scored from a header, similar to how the Netherlands scored against Turkey and Depay got his goal. So here's Fernando on the ball, Rakitic, and then the striker puts one in the back of the net again. So all of our goals came in the first half. Real Madrid of course set up their tactics in the second half to try and stop us from scoring more goals. So here's Gareth Bale on the ball now, Carvajal, Valverde. Oscar does well winning the ball back, and it looks like we're going to go on another counter attack. He's bringing the ball forward, progressing with the ball at his feet. He's tried to carry the ball, but he's lost it. Toni Kroos tries to put one over the top as well. Here's Lucas Ocampos in that central midfield. Fernando bringing the ball out, playing it wide to Rakitic, who's the central midfielder who drifted out wide. That was a nice ball, and that should have been 5. That should have been 5, but that was a very nice play from the Netherlands there. Why am I struggling to talk? Rakitic with the in-swinging cross. Or is it out-swinging? Out-swinging. It is the next goal. It is the Real Madrid penalty. And Hazard puts it in the back of the net. And after that goal, the game just kind of fizzled out. There wasn't really any more highlights, not anything meaningful. Anyway, Real Madrid only had one shot throughout that whole game on target. But unfortunately, that wraps up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you already know what to do. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn that notification on so you are notified every time I upload a video. And also, you can leave a comment. Just help the algorithm of this video, and that helps the channel grow. If you do enjoy the OneFootball app, make sure you download it. Again, the link will be in the description somewhere. But I will see you soon. Stay safe. Big shout outs to Total Football Analysis as well. So big shout out to them. Stay safe. Make sure you stay safe. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you guys soon. Peace out. I'll see you later, I guess.